gotta jump in, gotta start climbing, show up and win. Never stop striving, it's gonna be worth it, wait and see. Building your legacy.
Woo!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Brick by Bricks podcast, where we talk about building others up through competitive collaboration and changing the real estate industry one agent at a time. I'm your co-host, Dylan Dansby, alongside Curtis Haddock and Brooke Massey. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Brooke and Dylan.
Everyone screamed when they said my name.
Oh, that's, I mean, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I can see it. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Like they were chanting your name or just going, ah. Oh.
How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
I mean,
we're just been kind of goofy, I guess, this morning.
It's been a late start. We had some technical difficulties getting this morning set up.
Some really good conversations, too.
Too bad we didn't get some of those conversations recorded.
It's okay.
No.
It's okay.
Well,
really
let's tell them the good
Our
stuff,
viewership
though.
would have gone through the roof, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was gold.
Yeah,
But,
I
okay.
won't tell you guys what it was actually about. But let's talk about some good stuff that they actually want to listen to today.
Okay,
Exactly.
so yeah, let's do that. What are we talking about?
Well, I was on my way in this morning.
Oh, gosh.
And
I don't think anybody laughs at that.
They laugh 'cause we laugh.
Maybe the first time.
Exactly.
But anyways, but honestly, I was on my way in this morning and was actually talking to Dylan on the phone, and we were just kind of talking about what it is to us. And
What it is. I'm just
Yeah, what it is.
What it
no,
is, what it ain't.
what it means to be a leader. So, Dylan,
Yeah.
tell
with
me what it is, or tell your viewers what you think a leader should be.
Yeah, so for me, a leader, and we'll kind of go more in detail with this, is a person that can truly lead by example, not just all talk. It has to be action, right? And I'm also a true believer that there are different forms and shapes of leaders. I don't think there's just one category of one person that fits as a leader, the person that's the loudest in the room. You can be quiet. You don't have to be, just the guy that hurrah and all this stuff that you kind of like how movies and things portray you to be as the top leader, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then also, I really think that it's important to know that as a leader, having an understanding that it is not always the best seat in the house of being a leader.
No, it's
Like,
not fun
It's
sometimes.
not fun all the time.
Majority of the time.
Like, is it
Correct.
ever fun?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
there's
no,
times.
when you can sit
yeah.
there and you're like in front of a crowd, or you just tell that you really helped change someone's life, or made a better decision. You made your customer happy, or your client happy, or your mom happy. I mean, whatever
Or
it
yeah,
is.
whoever it is that you're leading, when they have success, you get to like kind of relish in that success with them.
But it only
Right.
lasts this long.
Yeah.
But that's what you live for, right?
Yep.
I mean, you have to love that feeling so much that you're willing to go through all the other bullshit.
Yes.
To
Bleep.
I was just trying to throw one in there so I could be cool like you guys.
We just wanted Lauren to have let her work and do her job.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Well, what does it mean to be a leader to you then, Curtis?
I agree with some of the things that Dylan was saying. I think that you can add to it. I think you can subtract to some of the things he said. Like basically, I think the best thing that he said was like leaders come in all shapes, sizes, styles, you name it. I think a leader is, yes, lead by example without a doubt, but lead by example in what your strengths are. And a good leader knows how to delegate.
I like that.
So when you're delegating something, a lot of times people don't understand. They think, they're just putting the work that they don't want to do on me. When in reality, they are, as long as they're leading by example and you can see them doing something that they're good at, or that what their strengths are, and they're not just, sitting there doing nothing, then it's more powerful. So the lead by example, yes, but I think it's also important to point out to delegate. But in order to delegate, a good leader is somebody who understands personnel or understands their people.
And that's hard.
And that's really hard because you got different personalities. You have a personality. You communicate a certain way naturally. And so if you're not able to communicate to somebody the way they need to be communicated to feel empowered to do something, then you're not going to be the greatest leader.
Correct.
Yes.
And so to me, a great leader is somebody who tries to understand all different types of personalities, is very like empathetic, is very self-aware of certain situations. I don't think a leader is perfect. I think that leaders make mistakes, but I think a leader is able to take ownership and accountability for any mistakes that they make, and any mistakes that the people that they're leading make. Because at the end of the day, whoever the leader is the one who's ultimately responsible for anything and everything.
Yeah,
So,
I like that part, especially being able to necessarily take blame for your people that you're leading, right?
Yeah. Don't throw them under
It's
the
like
bus.
you're coaching yourself, and a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know how to do that.
Yeah,
Because it's hard. It's very hard. You get
is.
emotional creatures, but you have to step back and kind of like coach and be a leader to yourself.
Or if somebody does something and you're like, why did you do that? Well, why didn't you prepare them for that situation, right?
Yes.
And so and again, it's hard to think of every situation and understand, like, okay, this person has a learning style like this, so are they retaining everything that I'm telling them? If they're not, well, then what can I do to help them retain it?
Yeah, you have to continuously coach them. Not everyone, right?
Yeah.
You said it. Like some people, like I know I've trained people in real estate or in my previous career or whatever, and I can tell if somebody's going to instantly get it.
Yep.
Or if I'm going to have to spend a lot more time with them, and I kind of fluctuated from there.
Right.
So you have to.
So now, do you want to share what a leader is to you?
Yeah, what they said.
I know, like
I'm just kidding.
going last is not fun. With
No,
with
no,
topics
I know we
sometimes.
took a lot
I
of the good
think-
ones, didn't we?
I think really what you said, Curtis, kind of a mixture of everything you guys said, but really I always talk about we deal with people, right? You said it already. It's multiple personalities. People have different wants, needs, different things are more important to them and stuff like that. So I think for me, communication and constant contact is probably like a big thing in leadership, and something that people lack so badly, because I came up in the corporate world and I saw so many different scenarios that could have easily been fixed if we just communicated and had a discussion of, hey, this is why we had to do that. Because I was telling Dylan this morning, and he kind of brought it up, like a customer comes in, or a client or whatever, and you have an agent, or you're at a business and whatever else, and you're managing somebody, right? Well, when do you get called over? You always get called over in the heat of the moment, right? So it's your job as a leader to, one, lead by example, stay cool, calm, and collected. De-escalate the situation, right? But something that I always try to be constantly aware of is, okay, I need to de-escalate this scenario or whatever it is going on. But then after that, because sometimes I have to say things to the customer that the person that I'm help managing, it may appear that I'm throwing them under the bus or something like that, because sometimes people just come in and they're irate and they're emotional. There's nothing wrong with that.
You're just trying to get through it, get them out of the store or wherever you are.
So
help them out.
I just try to make sure that whoever I'm leading and trying to be a leader to, as soon as that happens, I immediately take them, hey, let's go have a conversation. Like this is why I had to do it, and whatever else, like you're in the wrong or you're right. I try to coach them in that scenario. So that way they're comfortable with it and they're better prepared in the next scenario for it. So for me, I think communication and probably the constant coaching and constant just staying in communication with people is so important. It's just like you can't just train somebody up and expect them to do something and then not talk to them anymore.
Right.
That's not being a leader. You're not showing.
That a lot of people make.
It is, especially in the real estate industry. If you're trying to build a team, like recruiting, I'm just going to say it has a bad rap, and I understand why, because people just go to recruit for their own personal benefit, but they don't do anything to help the person in return. But instead, why don't you bring that person on, teach them, make them strong, and make them successful, and they'll stay there for as long as they're happy, right? Because if you're constant, it's
continue to make them
yeah,
successful. Don't
it's
stop.
It's building not just your business but their business, and it just goes hand in hand together. So,
But what you were saying was to continue the coaching and the mentorship,
Yeah.
because I think that gets a bad rep too, because a lot of people, I've done it myself, is we train somebody up, we coach them, and let's say they pick it up quick
Yep.
and they take off. We're like, okay, good. I can let them be and move on to somebody who might need a little more attention. And we neglect the people that are doing really well. Although that's a mistake, because
Yes.
we got to continue to coach them and lead them, because they're going through the same, different kind of struggles and issues that they might need help getting through. And so I think not neglecting people is a huge part of leadership. But
there's
and
nothing. Sorry,
no, go ahead.
It's very simple. Just ask a question.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Get really good at asking
How can I help?
questions.
Yep.
Get really
How
good
can
at
I
asking
help?
questions.
My previous job, we called it continuous coaching. You have to continuously coach people.
Yeah.
And we were required at my previous job in the leadership role, when you had a coachings, you had to have at least 3 coachings a day, right? And I had my own little team, and I had to
Per person
within
or like for your team? 3 coachings.
three coachings a day, and it would be I would say I'd have like maybe 10 people on my team or so, and I would have to have throughout the whole month, I would probably at least have to have 3 like just little quick coachings,
Okay.
and then I had to have 2 major one-on-ones, one at the beginning of the month and then one at the end of the month.
Did it ever feel like that was too much?
Oh, 100%. I called it coaching in circles sometimes.
Yeah.
I felt like I was constantly coaching and wasn't getting anywhere with
Yeah,
certain
I
people.
think that-
Not with all people, depending on the person I'm
I think
coaching.
if you put like a number on it,
Yeah.
where you have to do it this many times a day,
Well, it was
that's-
corporate.
it takes away from it.
It was corporate,
Yes,
for
and
sure.
and it just goes back to what we just said. You have to understand everyone's personalities.
Some people
Yes.
don't even
That's
need
the
that.
hardest part.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
like,
Everyone's
even
different.
someone that's super successful, you know what? Sometimes those people just want to just be recognized. So, just answering a simple question.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah. But I
okay,
do
so-
like that. Sorry, AT&T still recognizes that needs to be there, right? So they made a structure around it. So little obsessive, but I'll tell you, like, the whole company as a whole. I mean, you look at AT&T; they're nationwide, they're all over the world, and whatever
they're
else.
global.
So there's a reason why they did what they did.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is not on our agenda today, but I think it would be good for anybody listening, and so that maybe they can resonate with each of us. But let's go through. We talked about what we believe makes a good leader. For you personally, what is your biggest weakness as a leader that you think you can,
That's a good
you
one,
can
bro.
improve
That's
on?
a good question.
everything.
I mean, well, okay, we can always improve on everything.
Yeah,
but
no, let me
don't call
think.
it. Not everything is not your biggest weakness, though. You're not weak
Right,
in all
right.
areas. My biggest, okay. So my biggest weakness is, let's see, how can I communicate what my biggest weakness is? My biggest weakness is sometimes, oh gosh, I don't know how to communicate this. Do you know what
Just-
yours is?
Just try. No, I mean, like, I don't know.
mine. Okay, mine is whenever I struggle with dealing with the perception of
The decisions that you make.
perception of not the decision. I'm fine with how people, like, what people think about whenever you make a decision that may not be popular or they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you
that's
have
just
to do
part.
it.
That's just part of it.
Yeah,
And you
Correct.
Can't, you can't make everybody happy.
No.
I think it's more of I struggle sometimes with. I think it's hard for me to admit is actually why I'm struggling to communicate it. But I think I struggle with criticism sometimes, and like
Oh, that's fair.
not on decisions, but criticism in that, like, you're like the perception of not being good at something when you feel like you are good at that, and I think that
Like driving.
that that's but that one is more, has nothing to do with like leadership, but it goes hand in hand,
Yes,
right? Like,
yes.
if it was a deeper issue, I would be more sensitive about it.
Yeah.
And so
No, I get that.
Or like I struggle with my reactions to that when it's like nobody wants to be made to feel dumb or like they're
Being embarrassed
embarrassed or
Yeah.
incapable.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with letting that stuff just go. Like, who cares? Like, just prove people wrong.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And just kind of like, if that's what someone's perception is, then, or maybe listen, and there might be something to the criticism and that you can learn from and grow from it. Like take a step back and say, is there some truth to that, and grow from it.
Right.
And I think that just taking a step back sometimes before reacting would be something that I struggle with.
So I as you were talking, I definitely thought of one. Mine would be allowing personal issues or whatever it may be, allowing that to affect my team in a sense, and not just like it's ruining people's business for say, or I'm like truly hurting their lives or anything like that, but allowing them to see me in vulnerable states. And I'm not taking away the fact that I can't be human or have emotions, but as a leader, when you are you're out there and you're in the front, it's very important to not to show too much weakness in a sense to the people that you're leading. And I'm not saying that you can't just be vulnerable, right?
I was gonna say yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if I'm dealing with something personal, I can sometimes express it too much rather than I can still handle it, but handle it and deal with it in the background behind the curtains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I can get too many people involved into it and leaning on them too much about my personal issues or whatever it is I'm going through.
Can I give a perception on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say you're getting people involved the wrong way, because I think if you got people involved in a different way or more forward about it, then I think that people naturally would support and come around. And I think people, we should, like as humans, we naturally want to help people with their issues because we've all gone through it, and we all can relate sometimes to things that people are going through. And so I think not dealing with it alone, but I don't know. I think it's tricky because I think there are some things that you don't want to portray out to everybody because it is personal and deep, and like, you know, it's not meant to be known by everybody.
Right.
But it also, I think it's okay, like you said, it's okay to be vulnerable with your people so that they know, hey, he's going through something. Maybe today's not the day to approach him about something. Right.
But
what can I do to help? Or, you know,
and you can use that and like be a leader that way though too. Like, hey, I'm going through this. I'm just letting you know it's a kind of a rough day. How can I help and still be there? At that point, you're like, you're leading by example, but still letting people know, hey, you're going through this, and then
we're all
the people around you, they're gonna help and like support you. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And
it's
respect it,
just as important as your people to lean on you as a leader, but as for you as the leader to lean on your people too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Very important. You got to be able to go both ways with that, and just be able to communicate and continuously coaching in a sense, you know?
Yep.
So
Did you think of yours, Brooke?
Well, so it's kind of a hard one. So one, it's on the spot, but two, I think kind of something that just immediately came to my head, because I'm always analyzing myself and asking questions about like what people think, and if I did something, like what did you think about it and whatever else. Like I try to constantly always grow, not saying that I don't have weaknesses or anything like that. I'm just saying like that's what kind of makes it hard, because I try to analyze. But I think right now probably my biggest struggle as a leader, and I talked to Curtis kind of too about it, was like my previous career, I had to be such a certain way, and I was almost kind of, I'm going to say a bad word, asshole. I had to be an asshole.
That one's okay.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what the radio guy told us at one time.
you
can
he
say
did say we can
you
say
can
asshole.
say ass, but you can't say, I don't know, something else.
There's other words, ones that we bleep out. You guys will know.
Yes, so I'm not going to keep saying all the words. It's just going to get bad. But anyways, I had to be a certain way. So what I mean is, like, I had to be a certain way, and I didn't really necessarily have to think about people's emotions. I just had to do what I knew was right for the company and for the business, and to help grow from there.
Yeah, I feel that.
And so now
Now it's
I'm
tricky. You're in a situation, an environment where people can just be like, see ya.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
know?
and I was fine. I'm like, there's the door. I don't care. If you don't want to do it, I'll find somebody else. And that's just the mentality I had for 14 years. So coming into real estate, you really have to take on people's emotions and stuff like that. And so I found myself, and something just a little bit about me, when I'm really getting to know people, I want everyone to know about me. Like, I want you to know everything about me so you know who I am and I can move on and there's no questions. Some weird thing, but whatever. But now I'm having to deal with people's emotions and stuff like that. So I sometimes tend to lean more towards like a friend zone and try to be more of someone's friend and help people there, which I'm still coaching and doing stuff like that. But I think there is a healthy balance to being the asshole, right? There's a nice asshole that people can respect. And hey, if I'm holding you accountable or doing something, like, you may think I'm an asshole for the minute, but it's out of love and it's a different form of respect. So I think the balance between being an asshole and being super emotional friend zone kind of.
Yeah, there's got to be like a on and off switch with it. When you need to be stern or you need to like just get very direct with people and just tell them like, this is what it is. You know what I mean?
Trust me, I can get direct with you if I need to.
Most definitely. You got to have an on and off switch. You have to know and recognize, like, I think it comes to like to your approach, how you approach certain people. You know, as the approach is everything. If you can set the expectations of landing the bad news on somebody or just getting real with them, it will help the conversation go a lot smoother than what what we think and what we come up with all these different situations of like, man, I'm gonna have to have a very uncomfortable conversation with this person because you're really effed up.
You can't be afraid of doing that as a leader. You gotta be able to have those conversations, but you gotta be able to do it in a delegate, strategic way sometimes. And sometimes you gotta drop the hammer as well. And there's a balance, like Brooke said.
A balance for sure, especially in what we do now.
When you were talking, I thought of another weakness of mine at times is, details. I give way too many details sometimes. And I feel like if I could cut my words down when I'm going through our system or
make it
explain like
easier to understand to the people you're talking to.
Because there's so much knowledge that we all possess, and the more that we are in this industry, the more that we obtain, the more that we know, the more that we're in this system, the more that we're like, oh my gosh, like there's nothing like the system that we're in, and I just want people to know that, like right then and there. But I have to remember that leadership is a process.
Yes.
And each person is at a different stage in that process. And so you have to know how to lead at each stage as well,
Well, and I will say like that may be a weakness, but I think that's also like a balance, because that's something that I really like appreciate and valued, just getting to know you, because, and especially getting into this, and I started meeting other agents and stuff like that. People don't really know what they're in, that they're business owners, but they don't understand their numbers, and they're like, I don't like math. I get that, but you're a business owner, right? At least understand the basics, right? Because we can do very simple math to make sure you explain. So I love that you have that passion. You want people to know that.
Well,
so
and
just maybe tell them on like the third coaching session.
I think it's like a balance of when and where.
Yes.
And the way that I look at it though is that you're just an honest person. So you do give detail enough because you want to be completely honest with people and tell them the truth, and you don't want to leave anything out, because it's very easy, especially in this industry, and you're interviewing other brokerages and things like that, they'll just tell you anything just to get you.
Yep, they're trying to sell you something, right?
They'll tell you
trying
anything.
To sell you something. Yeah,
right.
I mean, I thought about that just a couple of days ago, how like our somebody posted on one of the social media real estate pages that they were looking for a brokerage, right? And so I saw all the comments of people putting their brokerage, and they're putting their brokerage because that's where they are currently, which I totally get. And I love it when I see it when people are mentioning bricks, right? But it caused me to go look at people. There were some broker owners that were on there commenting and saying, hey, we need to talk, like call me, private message me. Well,
I need a realtor. It's like the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah. But if you're looking for a brokerage, don't post that, because then you're like there's like sharks with blood in the water. Like they're just going to attack you. But it caused me to go to these broker owners' social media pages and like their websites, and I was just digging and researching and just seeing like what I've never heard of. I don't know who this person is. Like, what are they all about? And I saw some of the things that they were advertising as brokerages, and we talk about the natural progression of people in this industry when they become a top producer, or like They start leading a team. People go start their own brokerage, and they think, oh, I can go do it better. I want to keep all the commission, right?
Yeah.
But they don't realize like it takes at least 20% of the commission to run the dang brokerage, right? And so when I see what they're advertising, it's all a facade. It almost was like, and I didn't want to call people out, but like I wish I could remember the thing that I saw. It was like something that they were saying, come join us and we'll do this, and this for you. And I thought, as a brokerage, I was like, how? Like,
yeah.
And are you doing it well, or you're just doing it to lure people in?
Billboards.
And yes, it's just billboards. It's a,
how are you going to give everyone a free billboard?
Right. And like it's just a matter of time before some of that stuff just goes away. But it's smoke and mirrors is what we say.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
The whole industry is smoke and mirrors. And part of why we even, started Bricks as well was we want to be transparent about everything. Now, are we going to be perfect? Absolutely not. Are people going to come in here and get the short end of the stick when it comes to training and coaching, or, what they receive? Absolutely. We will drop the ball on occasion, right? But it also takes accountability of the person going in to take advantage of what each brokerage has to offer, because we can't do it all for you. We can guide you and help you and all that kind of stuff, which we'll talk about. And, we've kind of touched on all three topics that we had on here today. And I don't think we need to actually go in depth in some of them. Like the first one is lead by example. I think that one we kind of touched on with what we've been talking about. The second topic we had for our agenda today was proper coaching, how to actually coach properly, which we've kind of talked about that too. But the big thing, what I just said, was not doing it for them. What does that mean to you guys? Like, why do we say to people that coaching and mentorship is not us doing it for you?
Because you're not always going to be there. You're not always going to be there for them at every given time.
Yeah.
And you're not doing yourself as a leader any justice to really give people the tools, the skill sets, the power to go out and do it on their own.
They got to be able to solve the problem.
They have to be able to do it on their own.
Not around.
Because if not, as a leader, you're going to wear yourself down.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yes.
you're constantly doing. Oh, you get burned out very quick. You're coaching in circles.
Yeah.
Which is why asking good questions is so important. And the book that we tell people to go read or listen to is The Coaching Habit. And that's where like really it was eye-opening to me that as a leader, you can burn yourself out and create this bottleneck where you don't have time for anything else because you're constantly dealing with fires to put out, or people, because you're not leading them to learn how to put them out yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for people to be self-accountable. But it comes back to constantly coaching, asking good questions, and don't solve the problem for them. Not that, sometimes you have to kind of help guide them to the answer.
Oh,
yeah.
But you have to allow them to critically think through that problem.
Because that's when they're learning.
That's
And
when
that
learning happens.
honestly goes back to our very first episode of honestly switching from an entrepreneur mindset to a business owner mindset, because so many people don't want to delegate, right? They're in control. They're good at it. Like,
That's the third thing, prioritize and delegate.
yeah,
Great
like,
segue.
well,
Yeah.
I know I'm really good at burning out fires, right? And I used to love doing that. But then over time, it's like, okay, that wears you out and can
right.
burn you out.
Especially if you're doing
bad.
it for others, not just your own fires.
Right.
Now
Correct.
you're doing other fires.
Correct. And it's just
man.
tiring, right? And people don't, but as
And there's
people are in
no
that mindset,
appreciation for it either.
no.
Yeah.
As a leader.
Yeah.
No, but as people, they don't want to give that up because they're good at it, right? But as a business owner and to be a good leader, you've got to do those things, right? It's like you want to grow in business, well, then you need to bring somebody on and be able to trust them. And if they go out and they mess up, then come back and correct it. So that's a hard pill to swallow, I guess, for some people out there.
Just delegating.
Delegating,
and
yeah.
allowing
And
them
not
to-
being in complete control and not trusting
Yes.
people.
Yeah,
that's not
yes.
being a good leader, leading by example, to be honest, in
So,
my opinion.
my
Oh,
mentor-
100%.
My mentor told me, shout out to my mentor, you know who you were, still are. I still talk to him on occasion. But my first mentor in the industry, I should say, not my current mentor, He told me that you have to allow people to make mistakes when you're delegating. He is the master delegator, and I looked up to him for it. I thought, man, how does he delegate so well, to the point where it's like, man, what do you even do? You delegate everything. But yet he was always growing his business. And when somebody would make a mistake, we always say, man, no one's going to do it like I would, right? Like they're not gonna, if I give somebody an assignment, like, I'm going to pour all my heart and soul into this assignment, and I know if I delegate it, that person's not going to do it the way I would do it, to my liking. It's not going to look like I would do it or form like, but you have to allow the process, right? You have to allow them to do it their way.
Well, who says they can't get to thinking it
and who
that
says
way
that,
like you?
And who says that their way of doing it isn't better,
right,
or isn't still good?
There's,
right?
Yeah, I mean, you do it yourself. It's just one mind, right? You have somebody else, so now you have somebody else's mind, regardless if they have experience or not. They have some kind of value, or else you wouldn't have hired them. So,
right. Oh, for sure, yeah. And that goes back to knowing your personnel, knowing your people, and knowing who to delegate things to and for what purpose. But if they do mess up and make a mistake, you can't be so quick to go in and fix it and change it. You have to let them make the mistake, because that's how they learn.
Yes.
Because when you were learning, you learned from making mistakes.
Yeah, and I'm like, shit.
And sometimes we don't learn until we make the mistake.
Yes.
Like, how many times do your parents tell you not to do something, and you're like, okay,
or your
sure.
significant other,
or whoever, like they,
right?
Someone in your life. Like, I bring up parents because as kids, they're always teaching us as we grow up, like, don't touch the fire, it's hot. Don't touch the fire, it's hot.
Like,
okay. And then like a couple days later, there's a fire. Ooh, it's bright. And then you're like, oh, shit, that hurts.
I ain't doing that again.
Yeah, like,
that's why my mom said that.
Exactly. So I'm not going to touch the fire again.
She was right.
Right. But so now I know, I will now tell people, don't touch the fire. Don't touch the fire. So sometimes people have to make the mistake, and I think we forget,
and we have to,
when we're coaching.
Yeah, just let it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then when it does happen, don't be the person that says, I told you so. So
yeah,
I just kind of try to like give a look and then be supportive.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
That's the balance of asshole and coaching.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because you can go about it the wrong way whenever you're trying to correct them on something.
Yes.
So it's been I think we've covered everything. So is there anything you guys want to add before we bring our editor extraordinaire in for some Would You Rather?
No, I don't think I got anything to add. Just if you are someone that is a natural born leader, or you want to be a leader in whatever it is, you can always develop more skill sets to be a leader, because I'm a big believer that you don't always just have to be a natural born leader. You can also learn how to do it.
Oh, 100%.
If you're out there and you're in whatever business or situation they're in, whether you're the man in the house, whatever it is in that leader role, just remember that, treat people well. Don't abuse that power. Don't go out there and abuse the authority that you have with it, and just continue leading people and being great. And when the times are rough, come on, call us, come out here. We can also talk to you and whatever it can be.
If you're not a leader and you want to be one, come get your real estate license and join Bricks Realty.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll train you up and teach you how to be one.
Hey, it's in one of our 13-week
I don't
trainings.
even care if you come to Bricks. I just want more people to listen to this and just be true leaders out there. And I think we'd have a better society and a better world. So
100%.
I mean, just if you want good things, I'm always open to talk to anybody. So no, I'm always easy. So even if we just go to coffee and I give you a conversation and you help change your life, whether it's real estate or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
If you heard us say something that you disagree with, we'd love to
Call
hear
Curtis.
about it.
Yeah, call Curtis, because as a leader, I don't take that very well.
I would love your opinions. There's a weakness right there. There you go.
We
would love your opinions. What do you think leadership is? What is your weakness? Do you agree with some of the things we say? Disagree? Like Brooke said, we're always down to have coffee. And I think what people forget is just meet with people. I don't care if you're interested in what they do or not. Like, if you have an opportunity to meet with somebody, do it because you don't know what you're going to learn. I can't tell you how many things I have taken from meetings with random people.
Right.
I learned about pinballing the other day.
Pinball?
Yeah, just it's completely random, but it was very interesting.
Like what, the history of it or something?
No, I met a guy, and he what he loves to do on the side is he goes and finds old pinball machines, and he fixes them up, cleans them up, and he was telling me all kinds of just stuff about it. Yeah, I have his number.
We have room in the back. Like we find out what he sells for. That would be kind of cool.
I mean,
I wonder.
He makes some pretty good money flipping pinball machines.
I'm sure, especially if you got like a rare one or something, found one or something. Yeah, I'm definitely probably make some money in that.
But anyway, it's just random because I would have never known. But there's so many just different things out there in the world. It's just he was a patio cover guy.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder if he's actually good at the pinball game though.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
I got him
fixing
talking.
them up.
Yeah, but if you're good at fixing them up, I would like to know how good you are at playing it too.
Anyways, go meet the people.
Yeah.
Lauren, are you ready?
She's got some would you rather.
Lauren, come on.
I
Downs with the get downs.
This is nice that I don't have to move. I'm too big. Dylan's smaller.
As long as Dylan doesn't steal my microphone this whole time. Yeah.
Right,
come on over here, Curtis.
You guys be like cute together. You two little lovebirds.
Kiss me when we're talking like this, okay? I don't want the lady and the tramp thing going on.
Awkward.
Hey
Can you eat
guys,
some spaghetti?
it's me, Lauren. I'm back for Would You Rather.
Downs with the get
Thank
downs.
you, Lauren.
Let's go, Lauren.
We need
This
Lauren
is
to keep us in place.
This is everybody's favorite part of
Keeping
the show.
everyone in check.
Lauren gets on, and we get to play Would You Rather.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
So
What you got for us?
just don't. Yeah, never mind.
Okay. Would you rather have hiccups for the rest of your life or constantly feel like you have to sneeze?
Oh, wait.
Oh, that's hard.
Like you're sneezing.
Yeah, no, feel.
Sneeze?
Yes. Like,
Make
you're
sure
like,
you're talking to
come
the mic
on.
when you're saying something, Dylan.
But I mean, having to sneeze and then you don't sneeze is literally the worst.
I mean,
feeling.
I don't know.
It makes me so
It
mad.
does sting. I think that you would get used to it. So I think I would choose the sneezing because the hiccup would just be annoying. Like if you're in the movies and you're just hiccuping, making noise. If it's supposed to be, if you're supposed to be like if everyone's in here working on the phone,
That's
right? You're
true.
if you're in the middle of a conversation and you're trying to sell somebody something, you're just hiccuping all the time.
I think I'd rather hiccup than my face look like this the whole time.
Well, what I'm saying
So let me
is,
just tell you about Brick Schulte.
I think I would. I think I would get used to it. I think I would get used to it to where I wouldn't have to squint my face like that.
I think I would just I would say hiccups because then I would just make it part of my personality. And then everyone's going to remember me and I'm just make a joke about it.
Yeah, I got.
You can do
I
the
don't
same
like
with your
having
face,
to
though.
sneeze.
True. I gotta
But
go.
you're not sneezing.
I know. That's the whole, I hate that. That's like, probably top 10 biggest pet peeves.
Oh, damn, that's something I didn't know about you.
What?
Not like
Well, I didn't know about it either until Lauren asked this question.
I don't mind it. I
Learning
mean, it
something
does
new.
suck, but I would get used to it.
Sneezing though feels
Talking
great.
to the mic.
Okay, I'm talking to the mic. Sneezing feels great, so I definitely would not like the feeling of not being able to sneeze. So hiccup, I can roll with the hiccups.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right. That's fair.
How'd you
Lauren.
know I'm drunk?
Does Lauren need to answer? Lauren, what would you choose?
Oh, I think I would. I mean, I hiccup all the time because I have acid reflux. So I'm like, I'll just do the hiccups.
Just accept it.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, let me ask this: like, how often is the hiccup? Because if it's just a hiccup here and there,
There's no questions.
then I
It's
would
like
do
a
hiccup.
every 3-hour thing.
Well, I mean, for this,
Oh.
would you rather? Like,
It just says have hiccups for the rest of your life. So it's like,
it's
well,
just.
if it's not that often, then I would
That's-
choose
yeah.
hiccups. But if it's always feeling like you have to sneeze,
Yeah, because a hiccup, unless you're like hiccuping constantly, but
Yeah.
a sneeze,
I took
or
it-
having to feel like a sneeze, that does not go away.
I took it as well. It does go away when it.
But
it does go away.
No.
So if it's the same amount of time, like if we're saying every 3 hours you feel like you have to sneeze and then you don't, or every 3 hours you hiccup, I would.
What's the
I would-
you
next
just
question?
you can't think too deep in it because there's like all these things.
And you're asking us,
This
and
is my detailed stuff, guys.
yeah, this is Curtis's.
That's the point
Weakness.
of the would you rather.
So it's about hiccups. So imagine if it's about actual real estate.
That's true.
All right, what's the
Okay,
next one?
the next one. Would you rather get a paper cut between your fingers every time you touch paper or bite your tongue every time you eat something?
Ooh, paper cut,
paper
because
cut.
we're in 2023 and everything's digital.
Yeah, paper cut.
Paper cut.
I would just not touch paper. Just not touch it. Like, hey, could you pick that up for me? And
That's smart. That's smart.
yeah,
Solution.
yeah, because I eat way too much.
It would just be drop it on my airdrop it to me. Everything that you need to me. No paper.
But
just airdrop
yeah,
to
like
my
biting
iPad.
your
Hey,
tongue is horrible.
It's like Iron Man. It's like Iron Man because I watched all three movies now.
After the,
And he was like, I have a thing with people handing me things. Just set it down. It's the same
funny.
thing. I don't touch paper. Just hand it to me.
That was good. I hadn't even thought about. I just wouldn't touch paper.
Yeah.
Easy fix.
I thought that was gonna like really stump you guys.
Way to go, Lauren.
I know. Okay. Would you rather be a famous singer or a famous actor?
Ooh, singer. I
Singer.
always wish I could sing.
I would choose actor. I've always wanted to like be like the badass that catches the bad guy, or for pretend.
Mm.
That would be fun.
I
I'm
think
always
I think
jealous
it'd
of
be
people
fun.
that just like, walk
I
around
think
and sing. And
I would
they're good.
love to be able to sing and be talented at singing. But anybody who's really good at singing, like if they just randomly like start singing, I feel like I'm embarrassed. Like I don't know. I just feel weird when people just randomly sing. So the only time it's acceptable, I feel like, is when you're performing on a stage or recording something.
You just made my decision more. I want to be able to sing so I
you
could
can
just annoy you.
Annoy me. I knew that's where that was going.
I would rather be a singer.
I would
think
be an
that-
actor.
I don't know, but I
I get
Well,
why
I
people
think I
want to
could
be
be
a
a good
singer.
actress.
I like
because
to
it's-
sing
it's
though
it's
and
talented.
dance and
I like to sing too, but I could still sing. I just won't be
Well,
good at it. And I
it'd be
think-
nice if I could turn the volume down and sing
What do you mean?
because I'm a terrible singer, so I have to turn it up so I don't hear myself.
Hey, own that. I suck at singing, but I'm at home. I sing all the time.
I can
Poor
rap
April.
some Colt 45, but that's about it.
Yeah, ask Casey. I actually had him record a small little album for April of me singing all the random songs that I've made up through our marriage.
Oh
And
my
it is not
gosh.
good. It was so embarrassing
Oh my
because
gosh.
I'm not a good singer.
I would still give it to her.
Casey had to I said, you need to leave the room and tell me how to press record and stop,
that's funny.
and made her a little album.
Aww.
Yeah. So, and no, I'm not giving you guys any kind of example.
This will be featured on the next podcast.
If we
The
hit
next podcast.
100,000 subscribers, I'll sing a song for you guys.
Oh my gosh. Hit subscribe. Share it.
That's funny. Okay, this is my last one.
Okay.
Would you rather travel 100 years in the past or 100 years in the future?
Ooh.
Oh, that one's tough.
Yeah,
I
because
had
they're
to
both
think
so
about
good.
that one.
Okay, I got my answer. One, I think it would be so cool to go in the past, but 100 years ago, I don't think is that cool. I would rather go like 1,000 years ago. But if it's only 100 years, I would go in the future because then I would want to be able to know what to bet on or who's going to win sports and
Well,
all that kind of stuff.
Let me ask this. What if you could go, but if you went back in the past, wouldn't you know the
I
future?
guess you would know the
and
future.
you can control
Yeah,
everything that's
true.
happening.
So I guess it goes both ways. So then I
Uh-huh.
guess which one would I rather?
So, like with your brain now, like my brain power 100 years ago of what I know now, granted, it would
Yeah.
kind of suck because there's no computers or cell phones.
Yeah,
But
you could make it.
yeah, we'll have to learn how to
somehow.
Morse code.
Can we bring books with us to learn that stuff?
They're gonna be like, "What the heck is Google?"
You could be the inventor of Apple, Google, and
that's a good
everything.
point. I don't know now. I don't know. I do think it'd be cool to relive stuff though. But
Yeah.
I would want to go back to historic Bible times and that's what I would want to do.
Yeah, 100 years is not far back. But for me, the reason why I wouldn't choose the future is because, well, it's the future. It's very unknown. You don't know what's going to happen, right? You don't know what 100 years is going to look like from now. What's going to happen between that century of could there be other wars? Could there be other? Who knows?
But then you would know.
You
But
trying to kiss?
it's scary. But it's scary because what if you do know and you're like, oh, this is not a good future.
No, it's definitely.
Yeah, I would go past. I'd go past. But I would rather choose. I know it's not an option, but I would rather go back further.
Not an option, Curtis.
I mean,
Give it the
100 years ago, what is 2023? So
It'd be 9 years after.
1923.
No, 11 years after Titanic.
I would want to go back in the past just
Yeah.
to see, I'm like, what's it like?
but then I also
'Cause
think about
It's so different.
my animals and vet technology. I need to make sure that my animals are taken care of,
But let's just say it's just for a day. For
Okay,
one
then I'm
day.
down for a day.
Now I'm changing the rules, but that's okay. I can change the rules.
You're the
I
one
would go
asking the
pass.
question,
I'm the
so
one
you can do
asking the
whatever you
question.
want.
If it was for a day, or if it was the technology and the advancements is a good point. But
yeah, like
if
that
it was-
stresses me out.
yeah, but if it was for just a day, or if it was for a longer period, I would go backwards.
Like people that go and like live in like Costa Rica, I'm like, where's the vet clinics? Like, you know.
I'm definitely still going to the past. You have more control.
Yeah.
Robots are
Wow,
gonna take over
we
the
all
world in the
agreed.
future.
Mm-hmm.
On the pass. Looky there.
Well, boom. So, but
Usually, I'm the odd man out. I don't
I
know
know.
why, but
'Cause you're
it's always maybe,
Well,
maybe,
until someone had to choose Batman.
maybe.
Hey.
Oh yeah, that was dumb.
Bullshit.
Anyways, okay. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys for
Like,
following.
subscribe, hit the button, hit the bells.
Share.
Follow us
Share.
on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, and
Audible.
Is
Audible.
Podbeam actually? That's where we actually upload it. That's not. an
Yeah, but you
actual-
can listen to podcasts on there.
Oh, you can.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a bunch of different
Well, I take it
podcasts.
back. Yeah, go listen wherever you guys.
Go to everywhere.
In fact, if you
Listen to it 10
if you
times.
listen to us on one of those sources, go listen again on another one.
There you go.
Gotta start climbing, show up and win.
Anyways, thanks, guys.
Never stop striving.
Bye.
It's gonna be worth it. Wait and see. Building your legacy.